in just the last 2 weeks. And my friends, you know what to do. Get out and knock those doors, make those phone calls, send those postcards, talk to family and friends, and bring them into the tent. Because we are about to make history from a place called Michigan. And I think Michigan knows a thing or two about sending women to high office. That about seems to be in our blood. And I'll tell you what, Kamala Harris is fighting to get paid family leave. And Tim Walz, he did that as governor. Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights. She's fighting for our educators. She's fighting for our union brothers and sisters. And we're standing here today to say, ain't no Project 2025 coming to Michigan. We're going to secure our rights, and we are gonna vote. We're gonna vote for the manufacturing economy. We're gonna vote for the manufacturing worker. We're gonna vote for the hardworking family, and we're gonna vote for the little girls who dare to dream. The world is watching Detroit, and we are gonna get this done. Thank you all. I love you. Let's do this.
Please welcome United States Representative Dan Kildee.
Wow! Michigan, you look beautiful. What a great day to be a Michigander. Look, what a crowd. The energy, the enthusiasm, I know you feel it. I sure feel it. We have a ticket that can win, and we can rescue America from tragedy, the tragedy of another Trump presidency. We have a responsibility to stop that. I'm fired up, and I know you are too. Look, it's not a coincidence that the first full day of campaigning for our ticket for president and vice president starts right here in the state of Michigan. Am I right? You know why? Michigan, you will decide who sits in the White House. Michigan, we will decide who controls the United States Senate. We, the people of Michigan, will make a difference in determining who controls the House of Representatives. And that will answer the question, are we as a nation going to move forward with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? Or are we going to go backwards? Are we going to go backwards with Donald Trump and with J.D. Vance? So, look, no pressure here, no pressure, but the future of the country and the future of the planet are in the hands of the people in this hangar right now. Are you ready to go to work? Look, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they know Michigan. They know the Midwest. They show up here. They do the work. When Kamala Harris was in the United States Senate, she worked and supported our efforts, my efforts, to get relief for my hometown of Flint. You remember the Flint water crisis? You know, we had a lot of great partners who represent the state of Michigan who stepped up to help in that moment. We also had a powerful friend in Kamala Harris, who was then a senator from California, who came to Flint and helped us get the work done. She didn't have to do that. She did it because she believes everybody ought to have an equal shot. And look, I'm particularly excited about Tim Walz. I know Tim Walz really well. We served together in the House of Representatives. We became friends. I saw him go to work. I saw him do everything he could, particularly to stand up for America's veterans, people who put on the uniform of this country. Had a friend in Tim Walz. Their records speak for themselves, but they're not done. They know we need to continue to work to bring down costs for American families, to bring down the cost of groceries and gasoline, to bring down the cost of important life-saving prescription drugs. We've started to work on that. They're going to continue to work on those important issues. Look, you're here for a reason. We got 89 days left. We put today in the bank. We got 89 days left. And the question for you, the energy in this room is important right here and right now. No question about it. Because you know why? The whole world is watching you right now. The energy is important, but it's more important that we take the same energy that we brought into this room and put it to work. Do not rest for the next 89 days. Are you ready to do that? If we put in the work, we will not only elect the first woman to serve as President of the United States. How cool is that? But you know what? I'm leaving Congress at the end of this term. It's time. But I'm not going to have, I don't know what a brat summer is, but that's not what I'm going to have. I'm going to work 89 days between now and Election Day, even though I'm not on the ballot. We're not only going to elect the first woman to be President of the United States, we're going to elect Kristen McDonald-Rivet, the first woman ever to represent the congressional district that I serve in, to go to the U.S. Congress and make a Democratic majority. So 89 days. No rest. No regrets. Tim Walz is a football coach, and one of the things you learn, you leave it all on the field. Are you ready to do that? Because if we do, come this November, we're going to wake up one Wednesday morning to President Harris and Vice President Walz. Are you ready for that? I know I am. Let's go, Michigan! Are you ready to go to work? Are you ready to win? Are you ready to save this country? Let's do it. Thank you.
Please welcome United States Representative Debbie Dingell.
Michigan! I can't tell you how happy I am to be with all of you today, to support Kamala Harris as the next President of the United States of America. And Tim Walz as Vice President. I can't tell you how great it is to see everybody here. Is she going to get the best Michigan welcome anyone's ever gotten? You know, the enthusiasm for Kamala Harris is unprecedented. We have had thousands of Michiganders sign up to volunteer since she became the presumptive nominee less than 2 weeks ago. Because we have seen firsthand how Vice President Harris has delivered for our state,
people here know she's going to unite the country. But before I go further, I want to say hello to all the union workers that are here today. And you know how you can identify a lot of them? They're wearing red. And I want to say to you all, and I want to say to America, Wednesday is when union members wear red as a sign of solidarity. But you know, let's give a little depth to it. In times of harmony, it's a symbol of remembrance. And in hard times, a sign of strength, courage, power, and resolve to never back down. So today, let's send a message about red to America. We are Americans, and we are tired of division and hatred and vitriolicness. And everyone here looks at that flag of the United States of America and knows what it stands for. Don't forget those who fought to keep us free, and that we will always protect our democracy. Wearing red shows the spirit of solidarity, that we all stand together in the face of challenges and adversity, in whatever form it may choose to come. We say to people wearing red, and in our union brothers and sisters to all of America, you're not alone. We stand shoulder to shoulder with you. We stand together, and that's what red means. And that's why we're all so happy to be here today. Alongside President Biden, who's a car guy, and let's hear it for Joe Biden, the job he's done. He has done a great job. But with him, Vice President Harris has spent 3.5 years bringing back our jobs, putting money back in people's pockets, and fighting for reproductive freedom. And Vice President Harris, we have a leader who's a fighter for access to family leave, affordable child care, and a future where every person can afford to buy a home and start a family, and no child grows up in poverty. But while she's on the road talking to voters about the issues that we care about and building a future, Donald Trump is out here lying about his record and threatening to take us back. So let's do some truth-telling. Trump's tax cut that he brags about helped billionaires and corporations. It did not help working families. Trump's policy destroyed thousands, hundreds of thousands of Michigan jobs. Trump's Supreme Court justices do not ever forget that he says his proudest accomplishment was the overturning of Roe versus Wade. We cannot let himself put distance or lie, like don't put words in the platform. It does not erase the reality that too many women across this country are facing of putting government in their health care decisions. Government doesn't belong in a woman's health care decisions. This November, we will hold Trump and Vance accountable for their lies and their out-of-step mega agendas. And why? Because we in Michigan don't want to be dragged backwards. We're going to keep moving forward. The choice in this election could not be more clear. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz couldn't be more clear. They are, first of all, I want to talk about Tim for 1 minute. Tim and Gwen are as real as they come. Gwen's my sister, I gotta tell you. And by the way, this isn't in script, not approved. Gwen Walz is a secret weapon. And she's been fighting so that people with convicted felons are able to vote. Donald Trump needs to thank Gwen Walz because as a convicted felon, he won't be able to vote. That wasn't approved. I had to get it in. You know me, guys. But so let me say to this. Tim is a problem solver. They're trying to put all these labels on him. I know Tim. John and Tim were good friends. They work across the aisle. They say, let's get everybody who's got a perspective, put him at the table. You're never going to hear political talking points for Tim Walz. He's going to say, how do we solve the problem? And let's get it solved. Vice President Harris and Governor Walz are fighting for a future that ensures that every person has the opportunity to not just get by, but to get ahead, to protect our fundamental freedoms and a future that strengthens democracy. They have the record, the experience, and the vision to get it done. So, Michigan, let's deliver. We're showing the country the spirit and the backbone Michigan has. But, okay, it's Debbie Downer. I couldn't escape this. We got a lot of work to do. I feel a lot better than I did in 2016 at this time. Donald Trump, you're not going to win Michigan. This year, we are not going to let Donald Trump become president. Michigan will not let him win. We're going to hold him accountable. We're going to tell the truth. We're going to do the work we got to do. We're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to go in the union halls, the veterans halls, the farmer markets, the senior centers. We're going everywhere, barbershops, grocery stores. Michigan, are we going to win? Let's get the job done.
Please welcome the Detroit Youth Choir.
sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory. Glory. Oh, glory.
Look, if you black and you proud, hands up. If you wanna make a change, all my leaders stand up.
Tired of seeing my people on the news, texting my friends, hoping they okay too.
And yeah, we get that all lives matter, but I get to choose the color of my skin, so how does that matter? Your job is to serve and protect me, so where's the protection? Not only dying from racism and COVID infections.
Can't get sex like Trayvon, get some sleep like Rihanna. The more they kill us off,
we losing our mothers and fathers. Listen, when will enough be enough? I shouldn't be afraid that I'm next to go in handcuffs.
Look,
it's time to team up and stop the cruelty. My board is up, and I see you walking towards me.
Walking, yelling no
justice, no peace, kneeling until my people reach equality.
Now the war is not over, victory isn't won. We'll fight on to the finish, then when it's all, we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh glory, oh glory. We'll cry glory, oh glory.
Something must be done as soon as possible. And if we come together, she's unstoppable. If we're red, white, yellow, green, or blue, this isn't just our fight, no, it shows too more than being enslaved like our ancestors. It's time that we expose the country's transgressions. She's the future, he's the past. It's time to steal the present. Unity is what we wishing for, wasn't present. We doing Zoom calls, protests, rallies some more. The bigger we are in numbers, yes, she can even the score. We won in 2020. Let us make that clear. This the last generation they mess with fear. And when we get old, the stories will be on repeat. Fighting for our rights and masks and trying to keep 6 feet with my hands and yours. We get our justice and peace. It's up. It's time to go and vote out in these streets. Together so we can be one. last one burning to flames. Yeah. I break chains all by myself and let my freedom ride in hell. Hey, I'ma keep her running 'cause the women don't quit on themselves. Ha! One burning to flames. Hey! Yeah. Whoa. 'Cause I break chains all by myself.
Detroit! Let me hear something!
Hey! 'Cause I'ma keep her running 'cause the women don't quit on themselves.
Look! Two black kings sit on that porch tonight. Hoping and praying they get a better life. They just watched the news and seen another guy. Gunned down, that's the only thing in their mind. Look, freedom isn't privilege, yeah, I get it. I'ma need the whole village to change this wicked sentence. Give it all I got, 'cause I'm winning. Ain't no way to blow my vision when I only got one mission. You got Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown gunned down. George Floyd and even Breonna face down. Risking his life, Roy and March to the sundown. What's up to you? Tell that white man put his gun down.
I just got a text message. We're about to see something very magical happen here soon. And I don't know if y'all ready. Detroit, what up, yo?
I don't think they heard us, but we gotta say it one more time. Detroit, what up, yo?
Wait a minute. I think I need to do a video so I can send it to her.
Let's do it. We gotta welcome the vice president.
Detroit. What's up? Detroit. Y'all ready? Let's go! See, I know the ladies are here representing strong. But we are fighting for your rights. Your rights. We want to protect our ladies. You okay? Okay, I'm just checking out, because, you know, we had a moment earlier, I just making sure we do it. Okay. All right. I don't sound like Michael Jackson right now, but don't beat me, okay? And for all the new people that got here before I was out here earlier, my name is Bushman from Big 72.3, formerly from 97 WJRB. How many people see Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley? How many saw that? So I figured out that he was listening to on the radio at the beginning of the movie. That was my Netflix debut.
Hold on, you gotta tell the other movie that you were a part of, Bushman. Come on.
So back in the day, I had a little baby dress, and I played myself. It's really hard to play yourself in a movie. But I played myself in the movie 8 Mile, and you know that movie.
That's the one. That's the one. And I just want to formally introduce myself. I go by the name of Chris Carson, 97.9 WJLB. I do Maxwell Radio. And I just want to say, everyone here, y'all are so amazing. We are 90 days out. 90 days out in our vote matters. And if y'all are ready to see the ex-president of the United States of America, I want you to make some noise. Everybody outside, I need to hear y'all make noise too. We ready, DJ?
Automatic. raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot pot. Cooking. On your bitch, yeah, that. Cooking up in the crock pot. We came from nothing to something. Hey. I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger. Nobody call up the gang and they come and get gang. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Hey. It's bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up with a Uzi. My niggas is savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My it's bad and bullshit, bad. Cooking up with a Uzi. My niggas is savage, ruthless. Hey. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. All set. Woo, 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 woo. Records on records, got backers on backers, I'm riding around in a cool. I take your right from you. I'm a dog, beat her walls, loose, hop in the frog, I tell that bitch to come for me. I swear these is under me. The hate and the devil keep jumping me. Back rows on me, keep me company. Hey, we did the most, yeah. Pull up and goes, yeah. My diamonds a choke, holding up, I with no holster.
so many things that's held us down. But now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long, long way to go. And where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together. We're polishing up our act. And if you've ever been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing stand in your way.
Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist.
What up, though, Detroit? Woo! Y'all ever seen somebody get off a plane like that before? That's because we got a history maker in Kamala Harris, don't we? We are so proud to have her back here in the state of Michigan, and we're gonna chant for her like we never chanted before. Show me what democracy looks like. Y'all look like people who are voting for the future. A future that is as big and loud and diverse and powerful as this crowd. A future where everyone has access to a dream of health and wealth and opportunity, and that nobody is left out or left behind. You see, that is a future that is free, y'all. Free from not being small-minded. Free from the clutch of racism and xenophobia. This is a freedom and a future that we must fight for every day, and that fight starts right here in Michigan. But the thing I love about that future is it is a future that we can make happen. We own the process of democracy that delivers that future, and we will reject everyone who stands in our way of that victory. This is about love, not hatred. This is about inclusion, not exclusion. This is about generosity, not selfishness. And look, that's the biggest difference between us and those who oppose us. Y'all can't even imagine how small-minded Donald Trump is. Like, it's smaller than you think. His running mate, J.D. Vance, is too afraid of the future to have you be a part of it. But not us. We do not fear our future, we welcome it. And you know who else doesn't fear our future? My president, Kamala Harris. Our vice president has spent more time in Michigan than any vice president in the last 40 years because she believes in us. And I've been proud to stand tall with her almost every single time she done set foot in the state of Michigan. But we all stand tall together, right? We stand tall for a future that's free of gun violence. We stand tall for a future that is free of poverty. We stand tall for a future that is free of pollution. We stand tall for a future that is free of any limitations. You see, her fight for abortion rights, that's our fight. Her fight against climate change is our fight. Her fight for voting rights is our fight. And like she says, when we fight, when we fight, now, I know a little bit of something about being a strong number two, working alongside Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Isn't she amazing? The best governor in America, ain't that right? But I'm so hyped that the next Vice President of the United States, Tim Walz, came here to Michigan to introduce himself to y'all and to America and to show you the freedom he's gonna fight for. We have the chance of a lifetime right here and right now. The question is not whether this is our moment. The question is whether we will step up to meet this moment. And there is one thing that I know in my heart, that we will meet this moment. For the men who are hungry for a prosperous future, we will meet this moment. For the women hoping for equal rights and equitable opportunity, we will meet this moment. For the young Michiganders who will invent the future when we invest in their right now, we will meet this moment. And for every American ready to walk forward, we will win this moment. So let's win Michigan for our families, for our seniors, for our union brothers and sisters, for our teachers. Let's win Michigan for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and let's win Michigan for the United States of America. God bless you. Let's go win.
Please welcome UAW President Shawn Fain.
All right. UAW's in the house. Hello, Michigan. This is how we do it in Michigan, home of the big house. We go big or we go home. On behalf of the 1 million active and retired UAW members, I'm honored to welcome to Michigan the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris. You know, as President of the UAW, I have the honor of fighting for economic and social justice for our members, for the entire working class. From the bargaining table to the ballot box. What we bargained for can be taken away tomorrow in the halls of Congress. To me, this election's real simple. It's about one question. It's a question we've made famous in the labor movement. Which side are you on? And this is a simple question in this election, because on one side, you got a billionaire that serves himself and his billionaire buddies. He lies, he cheats, and he steals his way to the top. He's a lapdog for the billionaire class. And on the other side, we got a strong, intelligent, and I'm just going to put it bluntly, a badass woman. And I got to finish that sentence. A badass woman who stood on the picket line with striking workers. A leader who opposed free trade deals that have devastated the working class in this country, devastated our communities. A leader who takes on corporate greed and wins. Kamala Harris is a champion for the working class, and like all great leaders, Kamala Harris knows it's not all about her. It's about the people. It's about the quality of people she surrounds herself with. And you know, yesterday, Kamala Harris showed great leadership when she chose Tim Walz as her running mate. And it's no secret Our union was loud and proud about who we supported for vice president, and Tim Walz was at the top of that list. He's one of us. He's a working class guy. He knows working class values. He was a teacher, a coach. That's right, there's teachers in the house. Another group of people who've been left behind. He's a teacher, he's a coach, he's a governor, but best of all, he's a proud union member. And he always puts the working class first. With the Harris-Walz ticket, we have what I call the dynamic duo for democracy. Meanwhile, on the other side, we know who we're dealing with. Donald Trump is a scab. And his sidekick isn't any better. J.D. Vance is a vulture. That's right. You know, every time Donald Trump gets a chance, he trashes our union and he trashes the working class. He comes to Michigan. He talks about he's going to bring back the auto industry. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump doesn't know shit about the auto industry. And he doesn't give a damn about the working class in this country. And we got proof of that. You know, once upon a time, he was president of this country. And while he was president, auto plants were fleeing the country. In fact, while he was president, Ford's Romeo engine plant closed. GM's Baltimore transmission plant closed. GM's assembly plant in Lordstown, Ohio closed. In fact, in the UAW, we love using facts. And facts are indisputable. Not alternative facts that Donald Trump uses, or what we all call lies. We use facts. And the fact is this: Donald Trump did nothing to help auto workers when he was president. In 2019, GM workers went on strike for 40 days. Donald Trump was president. These workers went on strike to try to save plants that were slated to close, to try to fight for a future. Donald Trump said nothing, and Donald Trump did nothing to help auto workers. You want to know where Kamala Harris was in 2019? She was on the picket line with striking workers. Kamala Harris stands shoulder to shoulder with working class people, not for a picture, not for publicity, but because it's the right thing to do. When Kamala Harris, as vice president, she's worked with us and helped us bring jobs back to Lordstown, Ohio, where workers were left behind. Vice President Harris took action so workers who were forced to leave Lordstown, Ohio under Donald Trump are now returning home. She and President Biden worked with us to save a plant in Belvedere, Illinois that was slated to close. That's the difference. Donald Trump is all talk, and talk is cheap. Kamala Harris walks the walk. She does the work, and when help was needed, she showed up. So now it's our turn. It's our turn to stand up, to speak up, and to show up for Vice President Harris. You know, for months, Donald Trump's went around trashing our state, trashing our industry, and trashing the American auto worker, saying he was against electric vehicles. And then something happened. We saw a transformation in Trump. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a good transformation. And don't worry, Donald Trump's always going to be a scab. But we saw Elon Musk announce that he's going to give Donald Trump $45 million a month. And all of a sudden, guess what? Donald Trump changed his tune. And let me quote what he said. I'm for electric cars. I have to be because, you know, Elon Musk endorsed me very strongly, so I have no choice. End of quote. Donald, you got it. Donald Trump is bought and paid for by the billionaire class. Trump is a sellout, and as president, he already showed us that under him, America is for sale to the highest bidder. He's the epitome of what's wrong with America. When three families in America have as much wealth as the bottom 50% of Americans, we have a crisis on our hands. Millions of Americans are working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, working 2 and 3 jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, just to scrape to get by. That's right. This election is a choice. It's a choice between the working class having a shot at a better future or going backwards as millions of people get left behind. This is why I love Detroit. We're in a fight for what we call the 4 core issues. And that's what this election's about. Living wages, not minimum wages, living wages, so one job you can live. Adequate health care, so when you get sick or have something go wrong, you don't have to lose your home over it. Retirement security. You know, 60% of Americans have no retirement savings. Not because they're not responsible, because by the time they pay their bills, there's nothing left. Okay, we need a medic over here. You got it? Okay, you got it. Thank you. That's what we do. We stand up for each other. We look out for each other. We got each other's back. You know, and the 4th thing we stand for, it's about getting our time back and taking our lives back. So we don't spend our lives working 12 hours a day. We can actually spend time with our families. So let's be clear. This is a fight against corporate greed and the billionaire class, and it's pathetic. Donald Trump and his band of right-wing weirdos want to blame anyone but themselves. They want to blame electric vehicles. They want to blame China. They want to blame the union. They want to blame anything they can come up with to avoid the real problem. Corporate greed gone wild. You know, we keep hearing about inflation in this election. Let's talk about inflation. You know, this is the reality of inflation. It's hurting Americans. But what they don't talk about is what the cause of the inflation is. Inflation wasn't policy-driven. It wasn't the president's policy. It was greed-driven. And thanks to Donald Trump's inaction when he was president during a COVID pandemic, the billionaire class and the corporate class do what they do best. They use a pandemic to price gouge the hell out of the people. But they're right about one thing. Working class people are hurting. For decades, we've been ignored and trampled at our worst. But we are the vast majority of society. We have the numbers. We have the votes. And when we stand up united, we put fear in the hearts of the billionaire class. Their agenda is to keep us weak by dividing us. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's effective. Time and again, the wealthy divide the masses so the rich can walk away with the massive profits that we create. They try to divide us by gender. They try to divide us by nationality. They try to divide us by race. They talk about who you love, where you're from, or how you look. The working class has been left behind, and I don't know how you feel, but I'm fucking angry. They want us to point our fingers at each other. They want us to be distracted and divided so we don't talk about what really matters. Who you work for, where the profits go, and who benefits. Last year, auto workers of all walks of life decided to stand up in solidarity and take on the big three. And we won. We won because we were united. We were united against the true enemy, the billionaire class. The working class will always win when we unite in a common cause. Like Vice President Harris says, when we fight, when we fight, that's right, and we will win. We will win when the people in power stand with us. We will win when we stand up for what we deserve. And that's why the UAW and working class people are standing up for Kamala Harris, because she's walked the walk. And we know this, under a Harris-Walz ticket, America's not for sale. So, Michigan, I have a question for you. Are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to stand up for humanity? For decency? For solidarity? Are you ready to stand up, speak up, and show up for Kamala Harris? This is our generation's defining moment, and this election is our opportunity to take our lives back. So, Michigan, let's get to work.
Please welcome United States Senator Debbie Stabenow.
I am so excited. Aren't you excited? That is a pretty cool plane, I think. That's a great plane. I gotta tell you though, first I gotta just say to my good friend Shawn Fain, I wish he would just say what he thought. Isn't he great? Everybody in the union who's here, thank you for fighting to make sure we have a middle class in this country. I really am excited though to be here, and I know you are too, to welcome back our Vice President, Kamala Harris, to our great state of Michigan. And by the way, this is the 5th visit she's made just this year. It's fantastic. And I'm so excited to welcome back Governor Tim Walz. And I have to tell you, we love any governor from an M state. We'll start there. Not an O state, but an M state. Particularly one who knows where the Great Lakes are and why they are so important to us. You have heard it before, but I am going to say it again. This election, we have two choices, two stark choices, which I know is why you are all here. This is freaking important to all of us and our families. On the one hand, we have our great Vice President Harris and Governor Walz, smart, dedicated public servants who are fighting for an America where all of our rights and freedoms are protected. All of our rights and freedoms are protected. And one where everybody's got a fair shot to make it. That's our America, where everybody's got a fair shot to work hard and to get ahead. On the other hand, there's Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, who are running on their dangerous Project 2025 agenda to literally rip away our freedoms. Rip away our freedoms. And they want to give another round of Republican big tax giveaways to their ultra-wealthy buddies and make everybody else pay for it. Let me just say, Kamala Harris is my friend. I can tell you from her time in the Senate, as well as her time as Vice President, I've seen her up close. She is talented. She is hardworking. She is tenacious. And she will be an extraordinary leader for us in Michigan and across the country. Over the past 3.5 years, Vice President Harris has worked tirelessly to move our country forward. Alongside our great President Joe Biden, she has helped bring hundreds of thousands of jobs, including manufacturing jobs, back to Michigan. I'm not exaggerating. Thousands and thousands of jobs that are coming back. Do we have someone needs help? Can we make sure someone's getting? Are they okay? Looks like we need a medic. It is so, you guys have been so wonderful standing here for so long because we love our country. We love Kamala Harris. We love Tim Walz. We're here because we want to move forward. And so I just want to say, I'm proud of bringing jobs home. I'm proud of lowering the cost of prescription drugs, taking on the drug companies to negotiate Medicare and give them the power to get us the best price, not the highest price. And I am so proud that we have in Kamala Harris somebody who fundamentally understands our freedoms as women to, maybe decide our own health care decisions. I'm I'm not interested in Donald Trump or J.D. Vance or Ted Cruz or any of those other politicians being in my exam room or yours. Now, let me just say, you know, and people have been talking tonight, and so I'm not going to go through the litany of all the bad things that Donald Trump did in his first term, or what he wants to do in his second, in his detailed, terrifyingly extreme Project 2025. I just want to say this to Donald Trump. Michigan is not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We intend to keep going forward with leaders who believe in America, who share our values, and will fight for the things that make a real difference to Michigan and to all of our families. And one more thing, while I have you all here. We're not going back when it comes to our United States Senate seat either. I am so honored to have had the opportunity to suit up every day the last 24 years and go to the United States Senate on your behalf. And while I may be retiring at the end of the year, please know that I'm going to work my heart out, and I hope you will too, to make sure I am passing the torch to our great Democratic candidate, Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin. I deeply, deeply love Michigan and care about Michigan, and I know you do too. And I want to pass the torch to someone that loves Michigan as much as I do, and that's Elissa Slotkin. And I want to make sure we have a President of the United States and a Vice President of the United States who love Michigan as much as we all do, and who will have our backs every single day when they're in the White House. So Michigan, let's do what we know how to do. We know how to win in Michigan. We have been getting people to the polls. We've been winning in Michigan. Let's make sure we do that. So we've got Kamala Harris as our next president, Tim Walz as our next vice president of the United States. Let's go win.
Please welcome United States Representative Elissa Slotkin.
Michigan. Can we all give it up one more time for the amazing Debbie Stabenow, who has done so much for us? 50 years of service, the original OG, first woman elected from the state of Michigan at the federal level. Okay, we are running late, so I'm going to do this quickly. What a beautiful night. I'm Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin. I am proud to be the nominee for the U.S. Senate seat in November. We all know we have a job to do this November. We all know that Michigan is where you come to get things done. And we know that we invented the concept of the middle class, where you could work at an auto plant and afford the car that you were buying. That was a radical concept that we invented. And the Midwest has been on display. right? The Midwest has been on display. People are here, everyone is here because they know how important we are in this election to keep the White House, to flip the House, and to keep the U.S. Senate. And I think we have actually a very interesting story going on here because we have a Midwesterner on the VP slot on both sides, right? Interesting, interesting. Here in Michigan, we know a lot of guys like Tim Walz, right? We know a lot of guys like him. He feels like one of us. He's the coach, he's the dad making bad jokes, he's a high school teacher, he's a veteran, right? And he's also the guy who will tell you to always keep jumper cables in your car. We know that guy, we know that guy. On the flip side, we have J.D. Vance, right? And in the Midwest, we know some guys like J.D. Vance, too, right? Let's be honest. They're the ones who talk down to people. They're the ones who preach freedom, accept the freedom for you to live the life you want to live. We all know that guy. More and more of these Republican candidates are taking the same approach. So is the guy that I will be running against, Mike Rogers. Watch him. Watch him. We have a choice this election in which kind of Midwest we want, which kind of country we want. Do we want something hopeful and positive or divisive and splitting us apart? We know what we want. The other side of the aisle is going to claim that they care about the middle class. They're going to claim that they care about your jobs. What they want is your vote. They do not give a living crap about you. So in those two contrasting visions, we know which one we pick. And lastly, because I know you're excited for us to get on to the main attraction, for those of you, I know, for those of you who are not convinced by the importance of this election to your rights and your democracy, to the vision of America, the country we love, none of you would be here if you didn't love our country. That's right. If you didn't love our country, you wouldn't be here. But if none of those things convince you, let me just say one thing, again, about Midwestern values. And here, you'll have to excuse me. We are not going to let, no red-blooded Michigander is ever going to let a Buckeye get into the damn White House.
Please welcome Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Now guess what? I woke up in big Gretch mode this morning. Because I am fired up to elect Kamala Harris our president. And I am excited about our next vice president, Tim Walz. Now, I don't know if you all saw, but in Atlanta, they really showed up for the vice president last week. So you know what we got to do, right? We got to be better. We got to be louder. We got to show them how we do things in Motown, right? So, Michigan, are we fired up? Are we ready to win this thing? Now, I want to spend a moment to talk about what we're fighting for, and I want to remind us all what we are up against. In this election, we have two very different candidates. One is a prosecutor, the other is a convicted felon. One is an attorney general who served the public by taking on big banks, and the other is a fraudster who only serves himself.
One, a vice president who believes in reproductive freedom, or the guy who stacked the court with the people who ripped away Roe. We're not going back, right? Say it with me, we're not going back. Kamala Harris wants to move us forward and the other guy wants to take us back, but guess what? We're not going back. Kamala Harris solves problems and the other guy is a problem. We're not going back. Kamala Harris fights for our freedoms and the other guy wants to take them away, but we're not going back. You all are doing a great job. I love you. Kamala Harris's vision for our future is all about freedom. Can you all say, hell yeah? Hell yeah! The freedom, not just to survive, but the freedom to get ahead. Hell yeah! The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water. Hell yeah! The freedom to be who you are and love who you love. Hell yeah! The freedom to be safe from gun violence in your school, in your house of worship, or in your community. Hell yeah! And the freedom to make your own damn decisions about your own damn body. Hell yeah! So, this is why Kamala Harris got the endorsement of the United Auto Workers. Can I hear from you? Because we know that Kamala Harris is going to fight for the middle class. As president, she's going to focus on getting things done that make a real difference in our lives right now. She understands what the average person is going through because, guess what? She lived a normal life. She was raised by a single mom who had a full-time job. She moved in with her sister to help her raise her children. She took care of her mom when she was battling cancer. And she is a proud stepmom with a beautiful blended family who call her Mamala. And I know a lot of us identify with some of those characteristics. All right, Mamala. All right, I like it. And so I want to say a few words about my good friend Tim Walz, too. Now, yes, he's a fellow Great Lakes governor, a good Midwesterner, but Tim and I get along because we both lead according to a three-part strategy. Get shit done. Tim's the real deal. He's the only governor I know who curses more than I do. And I have a feeling that's about to change. He's a former public school teacher, a soldier. He's a former soldier and a state championship winning football coach. I mean, maybe he should help out the Vikings after we smoked them twice last year. I'm just saying. Okay. You can't take away our lion's pride, right? All right. But here's the thing. He's been an incredibly successful governor. Like Vice President Harris, Tim worked across the aisle to build consensus. He passed the largest infrastructure bill in Minnesota. He cut taxes for working families, delivered school meals for every child, protected public safety, grew Minnesota's economy, and so much more. Now, if a lot of that sounds familiar, it's because Tim and I have been trying to outdo one another on all these fronts for the last couple of years. Here in Michigan, with partners like Detroit's own Joe Tate, the Speaker of the House, first Black Speaker of the House, we rolled back the retirement tax. We invested in our students and teachers. We passed common sense gun safety laws. We protected abortion rights, LGBTQ rights, and workers' rights. And we need partners in the White House who have our backs. And that's Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will fight to help you not just get by, but to get ahead. Because every American deserves a path to prosperity, every one of us. They will fight to lower the cost of prescription drugs, make child care, pre-K, and elder care more accessible and affordable. And they will go after corporations that slap on junk fees and surprise late charges. The truth is, we cannot afford another 4 years of Donald Trump. Let's just look at his record. He did zilch on infrastructure, fail. He tried slashing Medicare and Social Security and repealing Obamacare. Thankfully, he's a failure there too. He destroyed tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs. He cut taxes for himself and his wealthy friends, and he instigated the January 6th riot. And of course, he bragged about Roe v. Wade falling. So, a second term of Donald Trump would be an unmitigated disaster. We cannot trust Donald Trump, and we must make sure he does not get back into the White House. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't buy a used car from this guy. How can you expect him to support the auto industry? I think we need some medical attention over here. I can see someone coming. Let's give the individual a little space, please. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for looking out for one another, everyone. That's what Michiganders do. So you can't trust Donald Trump. What I was saying is you wouldn't buy a used car from this guy, much less trust him with the auto industry, right? You wouldn't let him pick up the tab at dinner or trust him to pick up the tab at dinner. How can we trust him with the world's biggest economy? You can't even let him count his own strokes on the golf course. How can we trust him to protect the rule of law? So there is a lot at stake in this election, my friends. We can send Donald Trump packing again, and Michigan is going to do it. So, we need you. We need you to knock doors, because if you knock doors, we win. We need you to make calls, because if you make calls, we win. We need you to donate $1 or $2. We can win. In fact, do everything short of biting the kneecaps. For the national press, that's a Detroit Lions thing. Anyway, when we, Michigan, elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we can wake up on November 6th, the day after the election, and say for the first time, Madam President. We need a strong woman in the White House, and it's about damn time. And a good man by her side in Vice President Tim Walz. Let's get it done, Michigan. I love you.
Please welcome Adam Todd.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Todd. I am a recent graduate of University of Detroit Jesuit High School, and I am excited to attend Wayne State University in the fall. I am so excited and so honored to be here today to support Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz, who I'll be casting my vote for in my first ever presidential election this November. Medic, we need a medic. We need a medic over there. You have a medic yet? As a young black man in America, I don't often see people who look like me in positions of power. And now, finally being 18 years old and participating in this monumental event for the first time ever as a first-time voter is incredibly meaningful to me. There are so many reasons I'm proud to cast my first ballot for Vice President Harris. She's been a champion of so many causes that are close to my heart. There's a lot I could say here, but you guys have already been standing for a while, so I'll just give you one example. Protecting our environment. Since the 6th grade, I've been involved in environmental projects in my community, like my elementary and middle school's Solar Energy Club, where we advocated for solar panel installations and educated students on the renewable energy benefits. This passion continued into high school, where I became the president of University of Detroit Jesuit's Environmental Club. We built a mental health garden that benefits students and also acts as a safe haven for wildlife. Unlike Donald Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris has been a champion for environmental justice, including casting the tie-breaking vote to pass the Inflation Reduction Act, the largest bill to fight climate change in our nation's history. This is the kind of leadership that really matters to young voters. We care about the future of our planet because it's our future. And Vice President Harris and Governor Walz actually know how to connect with young people. They not only realize the importance of engaging with us, but they actively listen to our voices and our perspectives. Donald Trump won't fight for us. He'd drag our country backwards. Kamala Harris has a vision to move our country forward, and she's fighting for all of us and for our future. Me speaking to you all today as an 18-year-old black first-time voter from Detroit, it's just one example of how she is listening to the voices of young people. On Tuesday, November 5th, we all have one job, and that is to vote Vice President Harris and Governor Walz into the White House. And now, please join me in giving a warm Detroit welcome to our next Vice President, Tim Walz.
Wow. Woo. Wow. Wow. Thank you. A big thank you to Adam. I think we can all agree our future's pretty bright. Thank you, Adam. And hello, Michigan. You know, we Minnesotans, you probably know on this, we're a stoic people of few words. But holy hell, can you throw a party here in Michigan? So, wow. I want to take a moment to acknowledge a few friends, folks that I've gotten to know, and let's be very clear. This is someone who I consider my dearest friend, and someone who taught all the other governors how to fix the damn roads, Governor Whitmer. You have got a treasure in Michigan. And I'll tell you what, we share a lot between us in the upper Midwest. We share. Oh, we need some water. We have somebody down. We need some water. Medic. We need a medic right here. You got somebody here? Got him? All right, we got a medic on the way. Thank you for caring for your neighbors. Thank you for showing what Michigan does. Look, we share a lot of things. That's one of them. We're neighbors and we're not weird, that's for sure. But I got to tell you, something else we share is a care for the incredible natural resources. We in the upper Midwest, in our states, we care for 20% of the world's fresh water in those Great Lakes. And the Great Lakes have no better friend than your Senator Stabenow. I got some members of Congress I had the privilege of serving with and some that are new to that place. Let's be clear. We got to put gavels in the hands of these Democratic representatives so that we can get some work done. My friend Dan Kildee, Debbie Dingell, Haley Stevens, Elissa Slotkin, Hillary Scholten, Representative Thander, I believe just won a primary here, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, and the chair of the Michigan Democratic Party, Lavora Barnes. Thank you. And I want to just take a moment. It's been a pretty interesting 24 hours for me, I'll have to be honest. And I don't know how I could explain to you walking into that arena in Philly or that field out in Wisconsin or right here to what I have been told is the largest rally of the campaign in here. And look, this is a place full of working folks, students, folks who care. And I think about this. You came out here early, found a place to park, stood in the sun, sat here and wait, and you did it. You did it for one simple and eloquent and beautiful reason. You love this country. You love this country. I couldn't be prouder to be on this ticket and to help make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. Every day of her life, Vice President Harris fights for the American people. She's taken on predators, fraudsters, and transnational gangs. You heard it. She stood up to powerful corporate interests, and she has never hesitated to reach across the aisle, try and find some common solutions. And she has done it, and this is what we know. All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is they try to steal the joy from this country. They try and steal the joy. But you know what? You know what? Our next president brings the joy. She emanates the joy. I know a little something about that commitment to people. I was born in a small town of 400 people in Nebraska, and community was the way of life. My mom and dad taught me you show generosity to your neighbors and you work for a common good amongst them. At 17, I joined the Army National Guard. And for the next 24 years, it was a privilege to wear the uniform of this country. And just as it did for my dad, a Korean War era veteran, and millions of others, I used the GI Bill to get a college education. Followed a bit in my dad's footsteps. He was a teacher. My brothers and sisters were teachers. And they married teachers. I had the privilege of teaching high school social studies. And I coached the football team. We did win a state championship. I tell you that because don't ever close the yearbook is my pro tip to you. My students are the ones who encouraged me to run for office. I never thought much about it. But they saw in me what I hope to instill in them, a commitment to the common good, a true belief that one person truly can make a difference in their world. I lived in a district where I didn't know this at the time, only one other Democrat since 1892 had won that district. And on that election night, my neighbors graced me with the opportunity to go to the United States Congress and represent them. I learned how to compromise without compromising my values. I learned how to work across the aisle to get good things done for people. And now as governor of Minnesota, I bring those experiences together so we can tackle some of those hard problems, inequities, climate change, all of the things that we care about. Now, we got a lot of shared values in this room. By the way, is labor in the room? This might be my chance to use it. Yeah! Yeah! We know who built the middle class, but here's the deal. What we know is Donald Trump, he sees the world a bit differently than we see the world. And I've been saying it, he doesn't know the first thing about service because he's way too busy serving himself. This is a big difference. Again and again, he does things that weakens our country, only to strengthen his own hand. He mocks our laws. He sows chaos and division amongst the public. And that's to say nothing about his record as president. He is that. He is that. Look, we had the worst crisis of a generation, and he froze during COVID. People lost their lives because of that. He drove the economy into the ground, and make no mistake, violent crime was up during Donald Trump's presidency. And that's not even counting the crimes he committed. So. Some of the gray hairs in here remember a Republican Party that used to actually talk about freedom. These guys, when they talk about freedom, it means government has the freedom to invade your exam room with your doctor. Now, I know, look, we got a lot of commonalities. And I'll say this, as an NFC North guys, Vikings fans are proud of the Lions. I will say that. I will say that. But in Minnesota, we respect our neighbors' personal choices. We may not agree with them or make them from ourselves, but I've been saying this, you all know it. Our golden rule is mind your own damn business. Just mind your own business. It's amazing what minding your own damn business does to make things work better. Don't like a book, don't read it. Is there anybody in America sitting around in a bar, a bunch of people talking and say, you know what we need in this country? We need a bad animal farm. That's the first thing that you can do. Nobody says that. But you know what? It would be fun if it wasn't so dangerous, because then they start thinking about things like IVF and banning IVF. And I have to tell you, this is very personal for my family. When my wife and I decided to have children, we went through years of fertility treatments. Remember, every time the phone rang, I'd catch my breath, I'd feel nervousness, and then it would be a crushing feeling when they told us that the treatments didn't work. The agony of that I can feel to this day. But I can also feel some joy in this, because it wasn't by chance, as I say this, when our daughter, and we finally conceived, and our daughter was born, we didn't hesitate at all. We named her Hope. We named her Hope. But I do have to tell you something about hope. My wife always tells me this. It's not a damn plan. We can't hope we beat this guy. We can't hope that things get better. We go out and work our butts off to make sure it happens. So when our next president walks out here and she talks about freedom, she means the freedom to make your own health care decisions. And when she comes out here and talks about that our children should be free to go to school without being shot dead in their classrooms. Look, we believe strongly in Minnesota in the Second Amendment, just like you do. But we also believe strongly in common sense gun violence prevention laws. Freedom's when education's a ticket to the middle class, not crushing student loan debt. And it's a place where we know freedom means we settle our political differences not through violence, but with our votes. You get it. You drove out here. You stood here. Yeah. Please. Look, and let's all decide right now on this, whatever. We know it's going to be a hard race. We know it's going to be close. But let's don't be so close that these guys have anything to say. Let's don't be so close that there's anything. Let's just win the damn thing by a broader margin. Simple proposition. This election's about which direction this country's going to go in. We know Donald Trump's taking us backwards. And don't believe the act. He's playing dumb. He knows exactly what Project 2025 is going to do to our personal liberties. Destroy unions, rig the economy for the ultra-wealthy. We know that when he goes back, he's picking up and doing the same things he did when he was there the last time. Except, you all know this, it will be much, much worse when he comes back. Raising costs for all of you, repealing the Affordable Care Act. He doesn't care. Gutting Social Security, and be very clear. They can say whatever they want. They are banning abortion across this country, no questions asked. No questions asked. Yeah, you think this guy cares about you or your family? His running mate has the same dangerous and backward agenda as Trump. Well, heck, you all know it. Every regular person in the heartland went to Yale, had Silicon Valley billionaires fund his career, and then he writes a book trashing the very community that raised him. That whole thing is, I wasn't calling anybody names. I was just making an observation about them. We can see it. And here's my thing. There's a lot of things going to happen, by the way. We got about 91 days, and I keep telling people this, 91 days. My God, you can do anything for 91 days. 90. Christ, I haven't slept in 24 hours. You know why? We'll sleep when we're dead. We'll sleep when we're dead. Get it going. Here's my brass ring I'm looking for. I can't wait to debate this guy. I cannot wait to talk about what they think. I can't wait to ask him why he wants to take health care and take reproductive rights, and why he wants to make sure that the wealthiest pay no taxes as we destroy unions in the middle class. So here's the deal. You said it. These ideas that they're putting out there, they are weird as hell. No one's asking for it. No one's asking for it. We're asking a fair shot. We're asking for health care and child care. We're asking for an education. We're asking for safety in our streets. That's what we're asking for. And we're going to get it because that's what this campaign's about. It's about moving forward. Look, you know that Kamala Harris believes that you should be making the own choices in your life. She believes that every person should have an opportunity to enter the middle class. She believes in something so beautiful and simple with joy. She believes in the promise of this great nation. Look, she can take care of herself out front, and she said it. If they want to talk smack, she said it. Say it to my face, damn it. Say it to my face. But what I got to say is, we got to have her back. We got to have her back. So, Madam Vice President, thank you for the trust you placed in me. Michigan, help me right now give a warm Midwest welcome to the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
business to handle. We got business to handle. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Can we hear it up for Tim Walz? Isn't he amazing? He's gonna be the most incredible vice president. All right, so it is good to be back and to be with so many incredible leaders. I love you. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you for your friendship, your sisterhood, and your leadership, and we are gonna do this together. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, thank you so much. His parents are over there. And the members of Congress, including Senator Debbie Stabenow, my dear friend. And your next United States Senator, Representative Elissa Slotkin. We're gonna get that done.
Mayor Mike Duggan, thank you for the warm welcome always. And of course, it is so good to be with the President of the United Auto Workers, my dear friend, Shawn Fain. And last week, it was my honor, it feels like last year. Last week, it was my great honor to accept the endorsement of the United Auto Workers. And the UAW has always worked to lift up the working people of our nation. Do we need some help over there? We need a medic over there, please. There should be medics in each corner. We're good? Okay. All right. Look, let's all take care of each other and look out for each other, all right? That's who we are. We look out for each other. Okay. So, as I said to Shawn, as I talked to Shawn about this election is going to be a fight. We like a good fight. When you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. We know what we stand for. So I'm so proud to have UAW by my side because y'all know how to fight and you know how to win. Today, I also bring greetings from our incredible President, Joe Biden. That's right. Joe. That's right. And I know we are all deeply, deeply grateful to Joe for his lifetime of service to our nation. And we thank you, Joe Biden, each and every day for all you are and all you still have yet to do. Thank you, Joe. 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 That's right. I'm going to tell him what you said. So, Michigan, this has been a big week. On Monday, I officially became the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. And yesterday, I announced my running mate in this campaign, Governor Tim Walz. And as you just heard, he has an incredible record as governor of the great state of Minnesota. And to those who know him best, some people are just getting to know him, but I'm going to tell you, you got to know him real quick because he's incredible. He's a serious, serious man. He has been a serious leader, and he loves our country. And you know, I've talked to some of the people who know him best, like his wife, Gwen. And to Gwen, Tim Walz's husband. To his kids, Hope and Gus, he is dad. To his fellow veterans, he is Sergeant Major Walz. To the people of southern Minnesota for 12 years, he was a congressman. To his former high school students, he is Mr. Walz. And to his former high school football players, he was Coach. And in 90 days, the nation will know Coach Walz by the title Vice President of the United States. That's right. So it is so good to be back in Michigan. And listen, I am clear, the path to the White House runs right through this state. And with your help, we will win in November. We will win. And I know we are all clear about what we are up against. As many of you know, before I was elected vice president, before I was elected as a United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General, and before that, elected District Attorney, and before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, scammers who broke the rules for personal gain. So hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I've been dealing with them my whole career. For example, as Attorney General of California, I took on one of the country's largest for-profit colleges that scammed students. Well, Donald Trump ran a for-profit college that scammed students. You remember that? As a prosecutor, I specialize in cases of sexual abuse. Well, Donald Trump was found liable for committing sexual abuse. As Attorney General, I held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud. Well, Donald Trump was just found guilty of fraud. 34 counts, to be exact. Hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are gonna handle that. We're gonna beat them in November. We're gonna beat them in November. Okay? We'll beat them in November. We'll handle that. But all that to say, in this campaign, I proudly put my record against his any day of the week. Any day of the week. But make no mistake, our campaign, this campaign, is not just about us versus Donald Trump. It's bigger than that. It is about two very different visions for the future of our nation. One, ours, focused on the future, and the other, focused on the past. And Michigan, we here fight for the future. We fight for the future. We fight for a future where every worker has the freedom to join a union. Where every senior can retire with dignity. A future with affordable housing, affordable child care, affordable health care, and paid leave. A future where we build a broad-based economy where every American has an opportunity to own a home, to start a business, and to build wealth. And understand, in this fight, we are joyful warriors. Because while fighting for a brighter future may take hard work, we all here know hard work is good work. Hard work is good work. We believe in a future where we lower the cost of living for America's families, so they have a chance, not just to get by, but to get ahead. Because look, while our economy is doing well by many measures, prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it. When I was Attorney General, I went after price-fixing schemes. And when I am president, it will be my day one priority to fight to bring down prices, to take on the big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging, take on corporate landlords that unfairly raise rents on working families, to take on Big Pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans. That is the work we will do together. And all of this to say, unlike Donald Trump, I will always put the middle class and working families first. Because Coach Walz and I know the middle class built this great country of ours, and when the middle class is strong, America is strong. And look, as we move our nation forward, Donald Trump intends to take our nation backward. Just look at his Project 2025 agenda. Project 2025. And please do check out Project 2025, because I'm telling you, it is a plan. It is a plan to weaken America's middle class. Project 2025, if he is elected. It's all good. I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. I am speaking now. So Project 2025, look, if he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking. Because we know what that would look like. And again, understand, Donald Trump intends to end the Affordable Care Act and take us back to a time when insurance companies had the power to deny people with pre-existing conditions. We all remember what that looked like. And we're not going back. We're not going back. Our fight is a fight for the future, and it is a fight for freedom. Across our nation, we are witnessing a full-on attack on hard-fought, hard-won fundamental freedoms and rights, and we will not stand for it. Attacks on the freedom to vote, attacks on the freedom to be safe from gun violence, the freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water, the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. and the freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. Generations of Americans before us led the fight for freedom. Now the baton is in our hands, each and every one of us. So we, who believe in the sacred freedom to vote, will finally pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We who believe in the freedom to live safe from gun violence will finally pass an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and red flag laws. We who believe in the freedom to organize will pass the PRO Act and put an end to union busting once and for all. And we who believe in reproductive freedom will fight for a woman's right to choose. Remembering what Donald Trump did to pick 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would take away this freedom, and they did as he intended. We who are paying attention to the fact that now over 20 states in our country have a Trump abortion ban, many with no exceptions, even for rape and incest. And we all know if he wins, he would sign a national abortion ban to outlaw abortion in every state, and that would include the great state of Michigan. But we're not going back. It is because there is a thing about who we are that is a bit different from the folks on the other side. We trust women to know what is in their best interest and not have their government telling them what to do. And when I am President of the United States and Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedoms, I will sign it into law. So Michigan, here's the thing. So much is on the line in this election. And we gotta remember, you know, we knew who he is and what he was about in 16 and in 20, but there's also something else that has happened recently that we really have to prioritize in our mind about the danger we're looking at. Last month, the United States Supreme Court basically just told the former president, who has been convicted of fraud, that going forward, he will be immune no matter what he does in the White House. But think about that. Think about that. Think about what that means. Think about what that means. The man has openly vowed, if reelected, that he will be a dictator on day one. Think about what that means when he said that he will even, quote, terminate the Constitution of the United States. Because let us be very clear, someone who suggests we should terminate the Constitution of the United States should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States. Never again. Vote. That's right. So here's the thing, to your point. When it comes down to all of the things that are important about this, I think the most important thing that I love you back. And listen, one of the things that I know brings us all out today and always is we love our country. We love our country. We love our country. And I do believe it is the highest form of patriotism to fight for the ideals of our country. That is how we preserve the promise of America. After all, the promise of America, think about it, is what makes it possible for Tim Walz and me to be together on this stage today. Think about it. Think about that. 2 middle-class kids, one a daughter of Oakland, California, who was raised by a working mother. I had a summer job at McDonald's. The other, a son of the Nebraska Plains who grew up working on a farm. Only in America is it possible for them together to make it all the way to the White House. Only in America. Only in America. So we are running this campaign on behalf of all Americans, from red states to blue states, from the heartland to the coasts. And when elected, I promise you we will govern on behalf of all Americans. I promise that. So I'll close with this. Michigan, ultimately, in this election, we each face a question. We each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate? And the beauty of our democracy, we each have the power to answer that question. We each have the power to answer that question. The power is with the people. So in the next 90 days, we need you to use your power. We need you to knock on some doors. We need you to register folks to vote. We need you to organize and energize and mobilize and make your voices heard. So Michigan, I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America?